Hola guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. My name is Elle and this is my perspective. So today I will be telling you why I chose Merida, Mexico as my place to land. And I will also be answering a question. It was two questions. How do I deal with loneliness? Or being alone. I know what she means. Basically being alone in Merida, no friends, no family, nobody here when I landed, and nobody here on a daily basis with me, as well as do I feel safe here? So what I want to do is kind of take you back down memory lane just real quick. So for me, growing up in the United States, a lot of times you hear about the experiences of Black people in America. I relate to a lot of those experiences. I've had issues with the police officers. I've been profiled many, many times. I recently did an interview earlier in October, and I was sharing how one of my employers, a federal government agency, there was someone who was a coworker and he essentially called me out, did not want me to interact with her, did not want me in her office or anything. And if I did, I would be fired for it. And it was because I was Black. And so my boss and my boss's boss both pulled me to the side and we had a meeting in my office. And so I was like, wait, so it's because I'm Black and nothing else. And they were like, yeah. And so I was like, okay, is this something that's serious? Like, can I seriously lose my job for this? The answer was yes. Now, the reason that I want to say that it was my boss and my boss's boss in that office is because my boss's boss also happened to be the president of the union. Now, keep in mind, this is a federal agency. This is not a mom and pop job. This is a federal job. So racism is something that runs really deep. I've heard about the experiences. I know about the experiences, and this isn't back in the 80s. This is I left that particular job in 2013. So it's a thing. But what happens is you take all of those decades of those types of experiences, that type of hatred for who you are. Sorry, no, sorry, for your skin color. Like they're coming out and saying it's your skin color. Like I can go around and think that it's because of something else, but when you're just all out and about, that it's your skin color. When people are saying, be careful when you go to this city because they literally pull over Black people and I live in that city. Like, yeah, I get it. I get it. You are fearful. You are fearful just to leave the house. You minimize the number of times that you leave your house. When you start pulling in mass shootings that don't necessarily care about the color of your skin, it's just a mass shooting for whatever reason that person decided to do a mass shooting. You just start getting more and more tense. The things just start compounding on top of you. And it was like from the age of a teenager, I knew that America wasn't really my home because I was not accepted for myself. Like I could not be myself. Again, several jobs. To wear an afro, I would get pulled to the side by my bosses to tell me to not wear my afro anymore. Not at work. Like you did that on your own time. Do not do that at work. And so I could not wear my afro at work. Certain twists, like I have flat twist in right now, as well as, my afro going on. But certain twists, they did not want the twist in my hair. And it was seen as something that's intimidating. And I get it because certain styles and certain things, it makes you bold and confident and things like that. And to have that, we don't want that. Now, you might say it's my hair, you might say it's this, you might say it's that, but at the end of the day, people will bring up Angela Davis, Black Panther, and those are scary thoughts to some people. So again, fast forward, go back, whatever in time, and you always hear people who are saying, One day it's going to be okay for us. One day we're going to have justice. One day we'll be seen as equals. One day we can do this. We can do this. We can do this. But we can't. Like, we can't, we aren't, we haven't. And I don't want to continue to wait for it. So that's why when my child became an adult and I'm just going through and I'm like, okay, it's time for me to go ahead and leave. I'm looking. Quebec City is number one. It's in Canada, safest place. Merida came in number two. And so I have worked with abused women for decades, y'all, 3 decades. And working with abused women, I know that the walls will not come down. Nothing will happen until they are in a safe space. So that may mean you have to learn your boundaries and enforce your boundaries, but just be in a safe space where you are able to do it. And so for me to kind of let down the walls that I had, yo, I got to where dealing with the way people react to Blacks. And here's the other thing that I may not have, I didn't mention is when I move to neighborhoods that I feel comfortable in that look, they're luxury apartments, right? They're nice apartments. Well, in those areas, there may not be a lot of Black people. So now here you come moving in and you're a limited number. It's a limited number of y'all. And so you're going to have some people who may not like that. They may not like that there are more Black people moving into their area and spaces and things like that. So anyway, when it gets to, driving and you're dealing with so much already and you don't know who, what, where, when, or why people do what they do, it just got to where I was leaving less and less. And I'm literally where I got to the habit of leaving my house. Aside from work, I would leave my house once a week to go grocery shopping. That's it. Go grocery shopping because I have had people call us the N word. I have had police pull me over for no reason at all, like giving me tickets. Okay, so it would be like, did you know that your back light was out? Okay, well, I'm gonna have to give you a ticket for that. So, okay. But every single time a light went out, trust that there was a police officer to give me a ticket. And yes, the exact same day I went to go get that light fixed. It's not like I was riding around with anything. I don't ride around with expired tags, expired licenses, expired anything. Everything is always up to date, on par, everything. And so a light bulb goes out while I'm driving. Of course, I don't know about it. Did I even had where my child would check my front and back lights before we would start the day. So like I would be in the car, I would push on the brake, have her check all the lights to see. And so I knew that a light was going out while I'm driving, not beforehand or anything else because she's checking every single day. Anyway, guys, so it just got really frustrating and I just needed a break. And I knew I needed a break. I knew that there was some place where I fit in, which, as you've heard, I've moved over 18 times. I'm looking for that place that was a balance. Um, and so Quebec City, number one, you speak French there. I know a little bit of French. Merida, Merida, I speak no Spanish, no Spanish at all. But I'd been to Canada and I knew Canada was, to me, it was on the heels of America. I did not want to deal with it because I felt like I would be leaving the United States to deal with some of the same mess in Canada. So I wanted no parts. And it's cold there. I am a person that's always cold anyway. So I wanted the heat. And I heard Merida got hot, but I was like, I got this. Like I can do heat. And I'd rather do heat than stay in that toxic environment that is essentially aging me. It's keeping me so stressed, my nervous system, everything else. Like y'all, I went from even just being cool and saying hey to homeless people where the homeless people would just sometimes be on something and they start cussing at you and everything else just for saying hi, and it's just somebody that's who I am. And so I realized that I just started shutting down. And so I would stay in the house all day. If I went to work, I went to work, but I wasn't really trying to talk to anybody, stay to myself. Lunch was to go outside. I did not associate with people. I did not do any of that because it was just so much. It was so much that I'm taking in. So Um, safe city. Again, I've worked with abused women. I work with abused women. Coming to a safe city was the way to get the walls to come down. So Merida, safest city, number two, coming in number two. Those were articles from 2019, um, which was fine for me. It was fine for me. Like, I don't need you to stay at the top. I just need you to be within the top. Okay. America didn't even score, right? America wasn't even in the mix. And so I was like, okay, I'll go to Mexico. I went to Playa because, and this is to answer a part of somebody else's question. I went to Playa because when I was coming to Merida, I had done all the research for Merida. I had done no research on Playa, but someone had reached out to me and they were already on the ground in Playa del Carmen. And it was a whole group of women. And it was just like, oh my goodness, for me to land in Mexico and then for me to already have a group that I can talk to, chat with, go hang out with, and all that, it sounded amazing. And then the water would be right there. So I was like, man, I'm about to give Playa a try. So I go and I land in Cancun, and then I just take the auto bus to Playa, and I'm there at the hotel for a week because the person was like, no, 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 it'll be real quick and simple to find you a place to stay for the year within a week. She actually said within like 3 days they could find something, and so I was like, well, let me just get something for a week. So I did the soft landing and everything, and it didn't work out. It did not work out. Like I was like, oh my goodness, like this is not the vibe for me. Number one, number two, excuse me, those women, I never met a single one of them. Once I left America and got to Mexico, didn't see not a single one of them. And so I was just like, okay, well, it's fine. It's fine if I didn't have anybody to meet me. That was the only reason I was really going to Playa. But since the vibe didn't really match me, then I was fine to go ahead and come to Merida. And so I get here, and as soon as I got off the bus and I was in Centro, and I was like, wait, I like this. Like, it seems slower than Playa. That is a huge con that people have with Merida. They're like, it is slow. There's nothing to do there and all that. I disagree, but I need it slow. Like, imagine when you come from some of the different cities in America that you have to be on 10. You have to be guarded. There's so many people. Is this a situation with a mass shooting? Is this a situation with somebody being angry? Like, is this, I've also worked with employees that threatened to come in and shoot up the place. Like, I've worked with employees who said that. So it's just you're on 10, guys. And so for me to actually be in a place like Merida where things are slower, I needed that. That was actually healing for me. So I was like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. And then it's like everything that comes, like I might have like what the what? Like the 10,000 Mexican peso con thing where I was out 10,000 Mexican pesos. It's like I was upset, but it's like, okay, but I'm gonna learn from it. Like it is what it is. Like I should have been paying attention more to my intuition. Like it's that kind of thing where I'll say, okay, I have to blame me for that. Like that was my bad. So those are the things that I'm taking in. As far as being lonely, alone, and things like that, yes, there are times where I'm like, man, I wish I had somebody to speak at a Spanish with and to practice and to get me out of the house, but I don't. And so that's when I'm like, okay, let me work on me. And so as I'm working on me, those walls are coming down. And y'all, like, it's been within the last couple of weeks. Like y'all can see me on the video and I'll have my afro, but I won't wear my afro out. I'll fix my hair and do something different with it so that I'm appropriate. And so for the last week, I want to say it was last week, but I can't remember. I actually wore my full afro and it was just like nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody's intimidated. Nobody's moving over, nothing. I will say this, that I got into an Uber and somebody was just like, um, basically complimenting me and just saying how, you know, just all those things. And it's despite the afro and everything, and people are comfortable, and I like that. I don't like to be separated out because I'm wearing an afro or because I have twists in my hair or because my hair is not straight or anything like that. I just want to be me. And so I'm also loving, y'all, that here in Merida, like I can walk up to somebody and be on 10 and they don't care. So here's the thing. You can be walking on the sidewalk, right? And people can be minding their own business, and then you can walk by and be like, what's this? And just be happy because I'm out and the sun is shining and it's on my skin and everything. And I can just greet you on 10 and you can just be like, bueno. And the same thing with my Ubers. Like I open up the vehicle door, and before I hop in your Uber, I'm gonna be like, "Hola, what is this?" And so then I'll get in, and then they'll be like, "Blah blah name," and I'll be like, "Sí, gracias," because for real, like, thank you for even showing up. Do you know how many times people cancel on you? Like, thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for my ride. So yeah, just all that, and it's just I get to come back, like myself. I'm coming back. I'm not here yet, which is why I keep saying I'm transitioning. I'm transitioning. I'm transitioning because I realized after I was here, and even now, there are things where I'm like, oh, okay, so I was really holding that in. Like you hold things in so deep that you don't realize that you're holding it in. You don't realize walls are up because they've been up for so long. So a lot of times where yes, I can just be like, ah man, I want to go out and I want to do these things and I want to get on the bus and I want to get some glasses and I want to do all those things. And then your brain will come back like, girl, you don't speak that much Spanish. You better wait. You better wait. And so then I'm like, okay, let me learn some more Spanish. And so it just goes in a cycle. It goes in a cycle, and it's this thing, and you just have to appreciate. Well, for me, I have to appreciate that. Yes, there are times where I wish I had someone here that would be like, girl, come on, we're gonna go do this. And then I'll be like, come on, let's go, let's do this. And then that right there propels the rate at which you learn Spanish because you're out and about and you're socializing. And so you're going to learn the Spanish. And so just those things. But then I also am like, but if I had that where I was out all the time, when would I be taking the time to work on me? Like, I don't want to keep taking the damaged and the walls up and the traumatized me. Like this is my space and place to just go ahead and just like let it all down, let it all out. And so, yes, I am so excited that I have chosen Merida. The other thing is that in America, we do hear, about the cartel and all those things, but going to the safest city, not just for Mexico, y'all, that's the thing is take out Mexico, take Mexico out of the equation, take out the fact that you hear about cartels, take out the fact that you hear about people kidnapping Americans and torturing them and people just like doubling over sick and all this other stuff and the water's this and take out all that information and just let it be the second safest city in the Americas, right? In the Americas. Wouldn't you want to explore that place and give that place a chance? Like, yes, because as a Black American, I know that the same issues, some of those same issues I was dealing with in America, I would see them in Quebec City, Canada. And so it's just, I just wanted to not go there and deal with it. I wanted to do that stuff here. And then I did hear somebody who actually did pick the number one and went to Quebec City and they quickly changed their mind and was like, nah, I'm good. I'm good. But again, because Canada is right there and it's so easily accessible, then yeah, you can check it out. But we had gone to Canada with our family, our whole family. So um, no, I prefer the heat. Let me take the heat. So yeah, I believe that I have answered the questions about dealing with being alone. I just really get back to making sure that I'm processing myself and getting myself where I need to be because what happens is once I get those walls back down that I had put up over the years in America, then not only will I get back to getting out and checking out the area and leaving the house more than once a week, but I'll also be like, okay, Let me find me an extracurricular activity. Let me find something that I want to do, like some arts and crafts, and that just get into everything. Just get into everything. Let me take a dance class. Okay, yeah, I'm good. Let me do some boxing. Okay, okay, okay. Let me do. And so I'm just gonna get back, but right now I'm not there yet because I just need to process me. So every time that you hear me say transitioning and taking things at your own pace and everything like that, you need to do that. And so while yes, there can be that thing of, man, I am here by myself and I don't have nobody. It's just me. That's also the good time because it's like, okay, let me dig through and let me get this stuff out of the way and just go ahead and purge it and allow it to be that it served the purpose that it served, but I don't need that anymore. I don't need to fear for my life. I don't need to wonder if someone is going to accept me based on the color of my skin alone before they even get to know who I am as a person. Like none of those things, none of those things. Everybody says hey to me. Like that the other thing that's really nice and comforting, apologies, lo siento, is that some people will see me and be like, Mexicana, español. And I'll be like, lo siento. And so then it's like when I do speak, even with my broken Spanish, they'll be like, but you know enough. And so it's good to, it feels like, this is what I'm gonna say. It feels like while I am a Black American in Mexico, it is more like, are you Mexican or not Mexican? That's what it feels like. Whereas in America, it's not, are you American or not American? It's, you're Black, you're Mexican, you're this, you're Asian, you're white. It's color. It's color first. They don't care if you're American. Whereas here they just like, Mexican, Mexicana, are you Mexican or are you not? They don't dare us, and then it's just like as soon as they see that you're not, okay, where you from? Okay, I'm just gonna talk to you. I'm gonna chat with you. And it's just nice. It's inviting. So there you go. I know, I know, I know. I believe I have answered your questions. So yeah, there you go. And that's it. Yes, that's it. Okay, if you have any questions, comments, or anything else like that, y'all leave it in the comment section and I will check back with y'all later. I've been trying to look at this dot so it looks like I'm looking at y'all instead of looking down. Hope I did good. Okay, bye, y'all.